Something you really live by or something that has always stuck with you? Mine is kind of basic, but I live by it. You miss every shot you don't take, or the man that loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. Wow, I was not expecting this many great quotes. Thank you, everyone. Story 1. When you're up, it's never as good as it seems, and when you're down, you never think you'll be up again, but life moves on. Remember that. Ray Liotta playing George Jung's father in Blow. Story 2. Self-discipline is the best form of self-love. I've always struggled to love myself, and when I read that for the first time, it really stuck with me. I still have ways to go to meet my goals, but understanding that has been a life changer for me. Story 3. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. Cherokee proverb. I also like, it is better to have less thunder in your mouth and more lightning in your hands. Apate proverb. Story 4. Long ago I heard, two of the most hurtful words in an argument are always and never, as in you always do something, or why are you never something? Neither word is accurate and only serves to hurt the other person. More recently, and very helpful in career management, don't be the smartest person in the room. Story 5. If you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there, you must go beyond them. Bruce Lee. Story 6. Every great accomplishment starts with the decision to try. I use this whenever I'm psyching myself up to go talk to a pretty girl. I'm yet to actually get a great accomplishment from following this advice, but I'm sure I will someday. Story 7. We act as though comfort and luxury were the chief requirements of life, when all that we need to make us really happy is something to be enthusiastic about. Charles Kingsley. Story 8. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and thinkers, but most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within you, even when you do not see it yourself. Edmund Lee. Story 9. He who dares not offend cannot be honest. Thomas Paine. Every man dies, but not every man truly lives. William Wallace, as quoted in Braveheart. After a time, you may find that having is not nearly so pleasing a thing as wanting. It is not logical, but it is often true. Spock in Star Trek. It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. Picard in Star Trek. Education is what is left after you've forgotten everything you've learned. Albert Einstein. Story 10. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. C.S. Lewis. There's much more to the quote, but that's really the crux of the whole thing. Story 11. To laugh often and much. To win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children. To earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends. To appreciate beauty, to find the best in others. To leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Story 12. My deepest fear is not that I am inadequate. My deepest fear is that I am powerful beyond measure. I do not know where the quote is originally from, but I learned it from the movie Coach Carter. It always really stuck with me, and I use it as an affirmation and a reminder not to be afraid to put myself out there and to go after what I want in life. Story 13. I came from a very small town that's still very racist, the type of town that is still separated by railroad tracks. This quote by Mark Twain is my favorite and unfortunately still applies. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. Story 14. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan press on has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. Calvin Coolidge. Story 15. Steve Martin, the Spanish prisoner. Always do business as if the person you are doing business with is trying to deceive you, because he probably is. And if he's not, you can be pleasantly surprised. Story 16. Bruce Lee's "be like water" always stuck with me. He used it in his martial arts, but also kind of used it as a philosophy for life. Is something blocking your way? Flow around it. Is somebody giving you a hard time? Let it roll past you. It sounds kind of hippie-like, but it has helped me through some stressful times and helped me make some pretty wise decisions by letting things go and sitting and thinking about them. Story 17. It's a toss-up between only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. Albert Einstein. It's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than to open it and remove all doubt. Mark Twain. Story 18. An honest mistake is half forgiven. It means don't hide your mistakes, for they can hurt other people more, or you can lose their trust. Better prevent than heal. Don't let what you can't control hurt you. Sometimes things happen, you cannot undo them, cannot prevent them. You have to deal with consequences and move on. This is a teaching from Stoicism. Story 19. Maybe we were not meant for paradise. Maybe we were meant to fight our way through, struggle, claw our way up, scratch for every inch of the way. Maybe we cannot stroll to the music of the lute. We must march to the sound of drums. Captain Kirk. When doubt seeps in, you have two roads you can take. You can go to the left or you can go to the right, and believe me, they will tell you failure is not an option. That is ridiculous. Failure is always an option. Failure is the most readily available option at all times, but it is a choice. You can choose to fail or you can choose to succeed. Chael Sonnen. Story 20. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Socrates. Story 21. You cannot suffer the past or future because they do not exist. What you are suffering is your memory and your imagination. Sadhguru. This right here, keep moving forward with your own life. Story 22. A man traveling across a field encountered a tiger. He fled, the tiger after him. Coming to a precipice, he caught hold of the root of a wild vine and swung himself down over the edge. The tiger sniffed at him from above. Trembling, the man looked down to where, far below, another tiger was waiting to eat him. Only the vine sustained him. Two mice, one white and one black, little by little started to gnaw away the vine. The man saw a luscious strawberry near him. Grasping the vine with one hand, he plucked the strawberry with the other. How sweet it tasted. Story 23. History is not always kind to its subjects. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely. Good times become good memories, but bad times become good lessons. It is time for you to look inward and start asking yourself the big question. Who are you and what do you want? Even in the material world, you will find that if you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. It is important to draw wisdom from different places. If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You cannot always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not. Huota, unchale iro. Story 24. All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake up in the day to find it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes to make it possible. T.E. Lawrence. Story 25. For those who believe in God, most of the big questions are answered. But for those of us who cannot readily accept the God formula, the big answers do not remain stone-written. We adjust to new conditions and discoveries. We are pliable. Love need not be a command nor faith a dictum. I am my own God. We are here to unlearn the teachings of the church, state, and our educational system. We are here to drink beer. We are here to kill war. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Charles Bukowski, Story 26. If I'm mad, yeah, I am, but in 5 minutes I won't be and you'll still be foolish. You can't blame a blind person for being blind. You simply don't let them drive your car. I don't care who's doing better than me. I'm doing better than I was before. 10 push-ups a day is still 3,650 more push-ups than last year. The right person in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. She might let me experience intimacy. Call that an uncertain relationship. The opposition was Jewish and the Holocaust took his life. I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. Don't ruin a Tuesday wishing it was Friday. If there is a God, he will have to beg for my forgiveness. But who prays for Satan? Who, in 18 centuries, has had the common humanity to pray for the one sinner that needed it most? The teacher has failed more times than the student has even tried. Do you listen or just wait to speak? I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it is a quiet voice at the end of the day telling you to try again tomorrow. Use whatever talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang except those who sang the best. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The most important step a person can take is the next one. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. One day or day one, you decide. If it can be fixed, why complain? If it can't be fixed, why complain? It's funny how day by day nothing changes. But when you look back, everything is different. One moment of patience, in a moment of anger, can save 1,000 moments of regret. None of these words are in the Bible. Anyway, these are the quotes I've gathered in the last few months. I save a new one every once in a while. Story 27. Man is born free, but he is everywhere in chains. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, The Social Contract. None but a coward dares to boast that he has never known fear. Marshal Ferdinand Foch. We cannot kill our way to victory. Admiral Michael Mullen. Story 28. It's hard to win an argument with a smart person, but it's nearly impossible to win an argument with a foolish person. The legend himself, Bill Murray. Story 29. Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, and it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee, the most powerful quote for everyday life, be it fighting, weightlifting, or general living. You perfect this, nothing is ever a struggle. Story 30. Character is not made of sunshine and roses. Like steel, it is forged in fire between the hammer and the anvil. Another, and one that has stuck with me since I heard it way back in 1992, is the song lyric, "Been constantly so frustrated, I've moved mountains with less. When I channel my hate to productive, I don't find it hard to impress." Story 31. Don't just be sorry, be better. It's what my old therapist told me. She said she would tell her kids this when they'd mess something up. Messing things up is an unfortunate part of all of our lives. The important part is how you adapt and move forward from it. Story 32. You are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Story 33. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Story 34. There is force in the universe that makes things happen, and all you have to do is get in touch with it. Stop thinking, let things happen, and be the ball. Ty Webb. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Story 35. Critics who treat adult as a term of approval, instead of as a merely descriptive term, cannot be adult themselves. To be concerned about being grown up, to admire the grown up because it is grown up, to blush at the suspicion of being childish, these things are the marks of childhood and adolescence. And in childhood and adolescence, they are, in moderation, healthy symptoms. Young things ought to want to grow, but to carry on into middle life or even into early manhood, this concern about being adult is a mark of really arrested development. When I was 10, I read fairy tales in secret and would have been ashamed if I had been found doing so. Now that I am 50, I read them openly. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. Story 36. Civilized men are more discourteous than savages because they know they can be impolite without having their skulls split, as a general thing. Robert Howard Conan. Story 37. Better men than you have been burnt. The owner and boss of the pizza shop I worked at during high school said this after I told him about the post-prom, unprotected shenanigans I had gotten into the night before. He was always very good to me, but had a few, let's call them, issues. The moment he spun, looked me dead in the eye and said that to me, then went right back to stretching dough as if it was nothing, is etched in my brain. Meanwhile, those words shook me like a clap of thunder. And here's the thing, he was absolutely categorically correct. Rest in peace, my friend. Story 38. Make no mistake, life is a war. So do not judge those who fall beside you before the conflict is done. Instead, bear them forth honorably and treat them as the fallen warriors that they are. This is a quote from an unnamed Mandalorian drill sergeant. Presumably, it refers to suicide, but I also apply it to other things like anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. There's no failure in being beaten down by life. You're still strong and brave, and you should still be treated that way. Story 39. When I despair, I remember that all through history the way of truth and love has always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Think of it. Always. Mohandas K. Gandhi.